Hello, hello, lovely people. I'm Rachel Cunningham, and you're listening to Joyful Love, episode 59. If you're ready to bring joy and connection back to your marriage, stick around. Each week, I give you the tools to up-level your thinking, open your heart, and bring joy and fun back to your relationship. Because it's not enough just to stay married. We want to love being married. So last week, I had a really unique week for myself. It was quite a blast, I'll be honest. I went to my business mastermind to Orlando. So my coach has this big convention twice a year. And so this one was at the Four Seasons Hotel in Orlando at Disney World. So yes, I went to Disney World without my kids, which was kind of crazy. You know, I thoroughly enjoyed my time there, right? I love finding new opportunities to fully live into what I teach. One of those things is to care for myself. And so I pay for coaching when I need it. I work with a business coach and a life coach, and they help me in the same ways that I help you guys. So they help me care for myself. Also, I'm getting really good at finding the beauty in the moments that are given to me. And when you go to the Four Seasons, they are so good at caring for you that receiving that kindness and that care on that level is something that most of us aren't used to receiving. So receiving that love and receiving that care, I'll be honest, it's something I am still working on. And I have fully embraced receiving love from my beautiful husband. That is something I had to work on too. Really fully seeing the love that he gives me and saying, I want that. I welcome it. I receive it, right? And receiving love doesn't sound like something we should have to work on, but it really is. As most women, we are so used to giving that it almost feels uncomfortable to receive at times. So I have fully embraced over the last several years the love that my husband wants to give me. And I will also say that I fully embrace the way he gives it to me, right? I don't judge it. I don't say, oh, you should do it this way, or you should love me in this way better, right? Because this is my love language, so you should meet my love language. No, I've really kind of shifted that whole perspective and said, oh, this is his love language. This is how he gives love. I'm going to do the work to receive the kind of love that he feels best giving, right? That's a whole new concept that I really taught myself. And it's worked magic for my ability to just rest in my husband's love. But I am still not good at receiving love from others, right? I'm not good at receiving love from and care from the kind of staff that is at a Four Seasons hotel. The Four Seasons Hotel, friends, it's care on a whole new level. And I found myself really uncomfortable in that setting. Let me just give you a few examples. When the maid service came in, they would come in several times a day. If I would leave, it's like they would pay attention when you leave to go into your hotel room and make sure everything was in order. And it wasn't just making the bed and cleaning the toilets. It was care on a whole new level that I wasn't used to. So when I went in, and I just piled all of my earrings onto the sink in a pile, and they came in and separated them and organized them for me. And, and when I wrapped up the hairdryer cord and just put it under the sink, they would come in and notice that it wasn't wrapped up perfectly, and they would wrap it up perfectly for me. And they would pick up my clothes. They would fold my clothes. And I had so much guilt. I had so much guilt that somebody else was coming in and caring for me. And I had to actively practice relaxing into being cared for while I was there. And the funny thing is, normally, if I was to choose a personal vacation spot, I would never choose a fancy hotel like that. I would never choose like the Four Seasons. I can think of a lot of other adventures that I would rather spend my personal money on. But it was such a beautiful experience for me because, to be honest, leaning into that and purposefully welcoming and accepting the care on that level really taught me a lot. It taught me to relax. It taught me to trust that it was okay for others to care for me, right? So, and another beautiful experience was that I got to invite my mom. I decided my mom lives in southern Florida, so it was just a few hours for her to drive up to Orlando. So I decided to stay a few days later and invite her up and just have a blast spoiling her and spoiling ourselves together, right? You really get that time with your mom, do you? You don't get the when you grow up and you have kids and you also have other siblings, usually your time with your mom becomes about other people. It's shared with your siblings, or it's more about your kids, right? So this was like the first time in years that I actually got to spend a good amount of time with my mom. Actually, I'm trying to wonder. I think it's the first time ever that I've spent 2 solid days just relaxing with my mom. And as I think about that, I might get a little teary-eyed here. I'm feeling a little emotional thinking about that because I love my mom so freaking much. She has been the strongest, most amazing woman I have ever met in my life. And it was so nice to just spend time receiving love and care in a whole new level with her. And, we went to the spa together. We ate fancy dinners together. We had dessert in bed. We ordered room service dessert, and we just ate dessert in bed while we watched a movie. And it was so nice to treat myself that well and to see her. Like one of the beautiful things too, I think, is like I really got to see my mom appreciate seeing me be cared for. And I know that every mother wants to know that their children are cared for. And that was like, here I am getting emotional. That was really a sweet thing for me to experience, is like me watching her be cared for and her watching me be cared for. So anyway, that was amazing. So in addition to getting to spend some time with my mom and getting to really learn from my own coach, I spent several days getting fully coached up it's like a full coaching immersion for a full week. And so I got coached up by my coach. I got coached up by my peers who are also coaches. And, for any of us who are in a field where we help others daily, it is so important to get the care and coaching or therapy or whatever we need, the spa treatments or the massages or whatever we need to keep us emotionally and physically healthy is so important if you're in a role that, you're constantly giving to others. And most of us as women, if you're, if you're a mother, you are in a role that you are constantly giving, right? And then most of us choose jobs where we are really helping other people, right? So it's so important to make space for ourselves and give ourselves that care as well. I genuinely believe that the more we care for ourselves, even if we're even if we're still teaching ourselves how to care for ourselves and how to receive that love, the more energy we will have to pour into others. But it's true. It's a self-concept shift that I'm still getting used to, right? The concept that I am allowed to be a woman who receives love and care well. And the concept that I deserve to be treated well, right? I spent so much of my life doubting myself, and the last 7 years have been a journey to totally trusting my own intuition, trusting my own wisdom, letting go of what other people think, believing that I am good enough exactly as I am, right? This has been a journey over the last 7 years, and really actively creating the future version of myself that I want right now. And really nurturing that self-concept within myself. That has been my work for the past 7 years since I stepped into that first yoga teacher training. That might have been eight years ago, actually. But when I stepped into my first yoga teacher training, that began my journey to up-leveling my own self-concept. So that's what I want to talk to you guys about today. I want to talk about raising your own self-concept. So what do you want? Or where do you want to be? Who do you want to be a year from now? That's the first question I want you to ask yourself. Like, start imagining, like, where do you want yourself to be a year from now? And then the next question is, what's holding you back from being her right now? The first thing that is holding you back are your thoughts, right? Your thoughts that sound probably very similar to this. My circumstances are too hard right now. Or my past is too traumatic. Or I'm broken. Or, that was a huge one for me. I genuinely felt like I was broken. And I would say that over and over in my head. I'm too broken. I'm too broken. Right? It was huge for me. And I genuinely believed that I was truly broken because of my past trauma. Other thoughts that are holding you back are, I'm not good enough. I'm not smart enough. I'm not worthy enough. Right? When you think these thoughts, and they might not be these specific thoughts. They might just be subtle subconscious thoughts that when you dig a little deeper, you realize that these thoughts of not being good enough are at the root of them. When you think these thoughts, what are you going to feel? You're going to feel totally inadequate. You're going to feel discouraged. You're going to feel down most of the time, right? And then what are you going to do? You're going to take action from those thoughts and feelings, right? You're going to react to feeling inadequate. You're going to react to feeling discouraged. And this is going to keep you stuck. It's going to keep you stuck repeating habits that are not good for you. It's going to keep you stuck not creating habits that are going to get you to where you want to be in life, right? It's going to just keep you stuck in a cycle of self-doubt and negativity, right? So our brains love focusing on the negative. It's just what our brains do. Our brains are protecting us by looking for what's negative. So if there's ever any change, even good change, sometimes we'll make excuses and say, oh, that's not for me right now, right? Because it's scared. Our brains are scared of change. Our brains are constantly looking for ways to hold us back because they're scared, right? It's just what they do. Another way that we hold ourselves back is that we might have a list a mile long. And if we only get one of those things done, we make it mean that we're not good enough. We could have any thought in the world about completing one thing on our list, and we choose to think, I'm not good enough. I don't deserve better. I'm not worthy of love, right? Or if we do have something good in our lives, instead of trusting ourselves to create more good, we feel like we shouldn't push our luck. I'm guilty of this one. I'm guilty of saying, oh, I've had all this good. And then I look around the corner, I'm like, oh gosh, where's the other shoe going to drop? Right? My brain is like, it still wants to focus on the traumatic events in my life. And so if I have a period of time where it's really good, my brain wants to constantly say, oh, but what if? What if this doesn't last? What if the other shoe's going to drop? What if catastrophe is waiting right around the corner, right? But here's what I want you to know. The way you think is the way you create your results in life. There's no way around it. Trust me, I've looked. The way you think is the way you create your results in life. If you believe you can create a life and a marriage and a family life that feels good to be in, I have no doubt whatsoever that you can go create that. Whether you want a better marriage or a better job, or maybe you want better intimacy in your relationship, or maybe you want more alone time. Maybe you're like, oh my gosh, this family of mine is just driving me crazy. I'm with them 24/7 and I want more alone time, right? Or maybe you want a little bit of all of these things. You want the better marriage, the better job, the more intimacy. You want alone time. You want it all. Whatever it is that you want, the first thing you must do is to raise your self-concept to be able to go create it. You are the creator of your life. And no, that doesn't mean that all the negative things in your life are your doing. That doesn't mean you've went out and created all the negative things in your life, right? That's not what I want you to think. Being the creator of your life simply means that you get to choose how to respond to the circumstances that are out of your control. And a brilliant way to begin this work is to think about your future self. Think about the woman that you want to be and begin thinking like her today. You can do this in a few ways. You can actually write a letter from your future self. Really tap into who she is and where she is and imagine her living the life that you want and love to live. Let her write a letter to you. This is a powerful thing. Or you can write a life manifesto for yourself from where you want to be in the future. And as you write this, you can imagine yourself from that future, right? What will she be thinking? What will she be doing? What will she feel? What habits will she be consistent at? What will she stop doing, right? How can you think, feel, and do these things right now? I'm going to read you a manifesto for my own life. Your manifesto doesn't have to be rocket science. I literally wrote this in 5 minutes right before this call. So I want you to know that you don't have to have some magical manifesto that is going to be like this magical thing that you see and it's going to change everything. No, it just has to be from your heart, from your soul, from the person that you want to be. And it can be messy and it can be choppy and it doesn't matter. It just needs to be a goal that you are moving towards, right? So as I read this, keep in mind, you can use some of these thoughts for your own, or you can just go create your own manifesto from scratch. And then after you write your manifesto or your letter from your future self, your work is to watch your brain closely. Your brain is going to try to give you all the reasons that these things aren't true and why they can't be true. So your work is to discover all the reasons and purposefully look for all the reasons why they are true. And then lean into that. Okay? All right, here it is. Take this, own it, make it yours. Okay, let me pull it up here. I am a woman who loves big. I am a woman who is kind. I find gratitude in every moment of every day. I am in total charge of my own joy and peace. I'm not afraid of my feelings because I know how to process them and learn from them. I embrace myself and accept the areas of growth that I'm in the middle of. I embrace my husband and accept the areas of growth that he's in the middle of. I actively look for the beauty in life. I find it easy. I look for the beauty and wisdom within myself. I find it easily. I look for the beauty and wisdom in my husband. I find it easily. I acknowledge the 50-50 of life. I'm not afraid of the hard stuff. I don't fight it. I don't resist it. Instead, I work with the hard stuff and trust that it is for me, not against me. When another person can benefit from my help, I have plenty of energy to give to them because I use my wisdom to know when to say no. And I use my own self-love to care so deeply for myself that I have the ability to give love to them. I stop to enjoy the flowers, the butterflies, the clouds in the sky. I express myself in and through nature. I fully believe that God, the universe, is for me and not against me. I have the ability to be present and focus on the person or task in front of me. I do not wish things were different that I cannot change. I change the things I can. I am a pro at communication. I know how to love big, and that loving big is setting boundaries too. I know how to set boundaries. I know how to stop people pleasing. I accept the growth that I still want for myself, and I get to work. I enjoy the journey of this life. I write my own story. I don't let circumstances that are out of my control write it for me. I dream big, and I trust myself to create those dreams. I am in charge of my life, and I welcome the help of mentors and friends when I want and need the help. I invest in myself. I am worth the investment. My past does not define me. My past is not even a problem for me because I choose exactly how to think and feel and use my past for me. I am woman. I am love. I will be the love that the world needs, and I will help others be the love that they need. Okay, that's my personal manifesto, you guys. It's my mission statement, so to speak. It's what I live by and live into. It's powerful stuff. I don't have to be perfect in any of it to be good at all of it. That's a huge self-concept right there too, right? You don't have to be perfect at any of this stuff to be good at all of it and to continue to grow in all of it. So go create your own. Go create your own future letter from yourself or your own personal manifesto. And then come work with me to make it happen. Invest in yourself to make it happen. Coaching is so powerful in helping you to overcome what's keeping you stuck. Because your inner critic is strong, right? It will take you back to the negative drama every day. It'll tell you all the thoughts that are simply not true. So you have a choice to believe those thoughts or not. When you believe that you are not worthy and that you are not a brilliant and magnificent woman who is full of wisdom and love, you're going to feel defeated and exhausted, right? And you cannot take confident action from that self-concept. So to raise your self-concept, you must know what kind of woman you want to be. You must imagine her. You must believe that she is already in you and trust that she's in you and that you simply need to set her free. You are beauty. You are grace. You are love right now. So go own it. Own it and scream it from the rooftops because it is absolutely true, right? And it's my personal mission to help you believe that and to go create a life that you love living on purpose. All right, that's what I have for you guys. Have a beautiful week, friends, and I'll see you again next week. Thanks for listening to Joyful Love. If you'd like to know more about my work, come visit me at rachelcunningham.com. That's Rachel spelled with an AEL, Cunningham.com.